I hope that we can, get back to something like normal interactions on the regular first, and mostly just because of what you'd said earlier, about how the kids not being bodily in school. Public educators are the first point of contact for abuse cases. I mean, I want to say it's 70%, maybe north of that. So that's
You are correct.
that's an issue without a ready solution. And
It
I
is because, during that time, we found that those, child abuse numbers dropped because it wasn't being reported again. Because, like you said,
Right.
70% or more, it comes from, being in school, but domestic violence had increased,
without
because
a doubt.
now,
Right.
both parents at home,
Yep.
the divorce rate increased,
I
because it's
Oh
mean,
like,
yeah.
oh, now we're
I'm gonna
stuck
I'm
at
gonna
home.
guess I'm gonna guess that alcohol consumption has gone up
Uh-huh.
by
Yes.
a significant
Yes,
percentage.
it did.
And I think we're all ready to acknowledge that it's if it's not a root cause, it's usually in the house when
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, in unstable situations.
It is. And what I found too, and also, depression, you go to the dentist, they're just asking, has there any health change, for a normal cleaning, any health changes, you're still doing X, Y, and Z, you take your x-rays, and then it became a whole like mental health questionnaire, because the mental health, like I said, was changing. So hence the
Exactly.
alcohol abuse, hence,
Hmm.
the domestic, or against your partner abuse and things of that nature. Because I was sitting there looking, I'm like, I just wanted to get my teeth clean.
Yeah,
Like I'm good,
exactly.
but you appreciate it. But it was just like a shock, to be asked, like those type of questions, for something as simple as the dentist. It wasn't like I went to, ER or something like that for like a broken arm or a black eye or something, and they're like, hey, what's
Right.
going on here?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Lot of. I, I want to say hopefully we'll get back to normal, but it has to be a new normal, right? I mean, there's no.
It's definitely going to be a new normal.
That's it. So, but
I think this is, for at least a long time, is going to be our new normal,
correct.
just because, especially in the colder states, like right now, and, everyone is indoors, the contact, and, I don't know if it changed, but, I remember once they were saying, like COVID thrives on the cold, like it doesn't really, withstand heat, so to speak. So, but I'm hoping, like you said, things change and kind of get back to what we considered normal, but with the new normal, intact. But
Exactly.
all we can
Exactly.
do is all do our part, and you know,
Do our best.
hopefully we can kick this thing.
Exactly. Exactly. 100%. So, but I did also want to touch on another topic here. I know the time's flying
Okay.
by, um, but the so Orchards holds their it's the annual appeal, correct? That is your signature event.
No, so the annual appeal is just our year end appeal.
Okay.
Um, you know, for the end of the year. So that's what we're in right now, kind of closing out the holiday, which was to get, at Thanksgiving, we provided 400 children and families, Thanksgiving baskets. Kroger was a big supporter of ours. We did food collections for the non-perishable items, and then Kroger stepped in and they gave, which they have been doing for probably about 8 years or so now, but they give the families a gift card to go and get whatever meat or perishable item they need for Thanksgiving. And then it carries over to the holiday, which is, the cash and the toy donations. And then we close out the year with our annual appeal. It's just kind of like that, year end donation to, just help support the children in our care.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, but it does go on all year. Obviously
Yeah, you can
with
donate all year, and then our signature event is our biggest fundraiser. Um, that big support of that is for our education program, but it also helps, where, you know, bikes for kids in the summer, sending kids to summer camp and things of that nature.
Gotcha. Exactly. So no, and I assume now with the end of the year coming up, you'll have you'll do a new cycle with the annual appeal in 2022, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that is on your website there, and people can definitely take a look at that. Um, and obviously donate
Yes.
and do whatever they can do.
Every bit counts. Our theme is "It takes a village."
Yeah, and you took the words out of my mouth. That is exactly, I love that phrase. And I know for me it means one thing. Um, Talk a little bit about that. What does that mean to you in orchards? If you can speak on for orchards as a whole, what that means to you, and how that basically shapes who you are.
Um, well, it shapes who we are. Because again, I mean, I know we've probably all heard that growing up, where it takes a village. You know, and depending, you know, on, you know, what area you grew up. Like I remember growing up, you know, if I was down the street and I wasn't acting right, you know, the neighbor can fuss at me. And best believe by the time I got home, you know, my grandmother knew what was going on,
Oh
and I'm
yeah.
getting in trouble again. But you know, it's you know, we can do our best as parents, or foster parents or caregivers, you know, to our children, family, just anybody. But it takes a village to support, you know, the community you in. It takes the doctors, you know, it's if you see something, you know, is reporting it. It's not just making sure, okay, well, the child came in with a cold, I'm curing them for a cold. You know, you see that they are bruises that's unexplainable, you know, it's reporting it, it's educating our children, um, it's educating our parents, it's educating, um, just, you know, the community that we're in. Because you know, you have communities that it's generational, no one ever gets out of that community, and so that's all they know. Well, let's spread and show that there's other things outside of this 5 block radius. You know, there's, you know, more things than just like how we're talking about. You know, we know kids already before COVID, they were already, you know, stuck on their you know, video games and tablets and social media and doing things. It's getting back, you know, like out there. Let's get out there and play. Let's, you know, talk to our neighbors. Let's, you know, be friends. Let's support. You know, if this person is sick and, you know, they can't do something, it's as simple as, you know, sharing a meal with them. You don't maybe not have to invite them into your house to eat, but hey, you know, here's a meal. You know, we know you've been down. It's, or here's that, you know, donation to help that community, or that organization, because they're doing something great for that community. You know, if I go back to education, you know, I look at, um, we have a Promise Scholarship program, and that is where 9 times out of 10 kids, that are not adopted, and so they, you know, age out the foster care system, their college applications are denied because they don't have a parent or guardian sign for them. Well, let's build that community, you know, our village around them, and support that child and see what we can do to help them get in school. It might be as simple as filling out the financial aid papers for them, or helping them apply for scholarships so they can, you know, grow and become a better person, and then come back and, you know, support that community. You know, it's a wide range. You know, for me, like I said, I look at it as, you know, helping someone become a better person and just passing that along, you know. So without, um, the support, you know, that we've had through the years, you know, Orchard started off, we're going on in 2022 will be our 60th year. It was started in Livonia by a small home by the National Council of Jewish Women that once served 8 boys in the home. And because of the village and the support, no matter how the support came. But now here we are, almost 60 years later, serving 8,000 children and families in 15 communities in the state of Michigan, and some points touch the whole state of Michigan. And we couldn't do that without the village. So we picked that as our theme, just on how it grew, you know, from, like I said, having a home for boys to not knowing that not only boys needed help, girls needed help. well, there was more than just foster care. There was finding this forever home for a child, or getting that child placed back into their home, which is first the ultimate goal. But if they can't, because of whatever reasons, then let's find them that forever home. So having our village support us is how, we grew through the years, and that continued support from the village will help us to continue to grow and help for hopefully, another 60 plus years, and continue to serve those children and families in need.
Yeah, that was perfectly said. That was yeah, you said that was, I mean, you mentioned one thing which I love with that whole theme. Not only are you helping children, but you're helping the adults, everyone in the village, right? I mean, you're educating. Yes. You're not just giving a child, making them smile, helping them with college, whatever it may be, but you're also helping the parents. You're helping
Yes.
the guardians. You're helping the grandparents, the friends. I mean, if everyone supports each other and look what can happen. I mean, like you said, look at what Orchard started as, and look what you are now. And that's not one person that did that. That's tons and tons of people, tons and tons of hours, blood, sweat, and tears with a lot of people. And
yes,
and it's beautiful to see just how that happens, how it grows, how it that domino effect, the example it shows, and of what you can do. I said earlier, we keep touching on the point of what can you do to help, and every tiny little minuscule thing does help. It really does.
It does. It can be as simple as sharing a resource. Maybe you can't do something right now, but that connection. Hey, I know someone, they may be interested. It's talking to your friends about the work that we do. We know we do a lot of things word of mouth. 9 times out of 10, when we try something, whether it's that restaurant, it could be, a doctor. I know, like, I found my doctor basically on a referral, and didn't even know this person. I happened to call because the doctor I was seeing at the time, like, he just up and like vanished, like left the practice. I don't know why, however. So I'm calling, an insurance company, and I'm like, okay, well, Dr. Such and Such isn't here anymore, and I didn't get a notice, but I'm looking for another doctor. And the person that was on the call, like, hey, I see you live in this, community. I live like one community over. I go to this person here, and he's absolutely amazing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take your word, just, because I can hear how he really, just over the phone, but the passion, how he had for, this particular doctor. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll try him out. If I don't like him, all I got to do is change, right? I don't have to go again. I've been going to him for over 10 years now, and been referred so many different people to him, because he's great. And, for me, it was better than just, picking eeny, meeny, mo out of a catalog, So I look at, with that being said, like, you sharing your experience to someone, with being a foster parent, that might just, maybe they don't donate, but maybe they look into it and say, you know what, I want to open my home and share my home to someone in need. That's one more kid that we've helped. May not be financially in the sense to the organization, but it's a kid that's being helped, and that's all that matters. Like I said, if it's, hey, I only have $20, but I want to challenge my friends today to do $20. We're going to give up whatever, like I said, Starbucks for this week.
Yep.
You get, 5 friends. That's $100 right there. That goes a long way. It's little things, that, people can do.